All right, so guys, this is a diagram which would be in which will help you understand the medial laminiscal dorsal medial laminiscal system very perfectly. So we start off with the receptors you have are the pacinian, the mesenteric, the muscle spindle, and the Golgi tendon organs. So guys, make sure that you know how to draw this diagram, because it does come in exams that tell the draw diagram about the 2-point discrimination. So what you have to do is this, that you have to draw this one. All right, so the first order neuron is here, which is your dorsal root ganglion. So these are again what do I mean by order of neurons? So when I say the first order of neurons, that means the place where there we have cell bodies, and these pathways or these axons, they synapse at that place. So the first order neurons are present in the dorsal root ganglion. So these are the cell bodies which are present outside the central nervous system, so that is why we call it a ganglion. Yeah, so they go to your spinal cord, and then what really happen is this, that they ascend upwards. So now a thing that you need to remember is this, that you have two types of fibers when it comes to the dorsal medial laminiscus system, the 2-point discrimination. First type is those laminiscal, those fibers which are coming from the lower part of your body, and these are your gracilis fibers. And when there are lots of fibers, we call it not lots of fibers, we say it fascicles. So fasciculus. So the fasciculus gracilis are coming from your lower part of your body. With lower part of your body, it is further specified that they come from your T6 to S4, and the upper part is brought by the cuneatus fibers. They bring these sensations. So upper six, so you have like this first cervical, all the cervical regions, and from C1 to T6 is brought by your upper cuneatus fibers, and the lower part is like T6 to S4. So these fibers, they go up, they ascend upwards, and then what really happen is this, that they pass all the way from your spinal cord to the medulla. Then in the pons, there's something really amazing happens. So this is the second level of your pons. What happens is this, that these fibers, they go to its, so these are all the fascicles. They are large, lots of fibers. So they are known as fasciculus. So what happens is this, that these fasciculus, they terminate on their tubercles. There are tubercle nucleus, so you have tubercles of nucleus tubercles of the cuneate pathway of the gracilis as well. So the cuneate one, which is shown in the red one, it has its own nucleus, and you call it cuneate nucleus, and the gracilis one is your gracilis nucleus. So they terminate there. This is where the first order neurons are ended, and this is where your second order neurons would start. So this is the second order neuron, and then the second order, what happens is this, that these fibers, as you can see, so the right side, yeah, so this is the right side, this is the left side. So what happens is that the left side, gracilis and cuneatus, they come together, they move to the left side, and then they ascend upwards. So like there is a crossover which is taking place. The cuneatus and gracilis from the left side are coming towards the right side, and the cuneatus and gracilis from the right side, they come towards your left side. So they cross over, and this crossing over, in more, you can say, complex words, well, not that complex once you're familiar with it, it's known as decussation. So we say that there is a decussation that takes place. So with decussation, we all simply mean that there is a crossing over which takes place. So these fibers, they cross over, they move towards this side, they extend upwards, they pass all the way from your upper part of your pons, from your midbrain. Now here, if I cut my fibers from here, if I cut the right side fibers, it is going to bring an effect to the left side, because these fibers are originally coming from the left side, because you see these fibers came from the left side, then they move towards the right side, and then here they come upward, because these fibers have crossed over, they have moved towards this side. So yeah, so here the crossing over takes place, And another thing that is really important is this, that once these fibers they cross over, these crossed over fibers, so this part, these fibers, the one that are crossing over, they have their own specific name, which we call it internal arcuate fibers. So these are the internal arcuate fibers, and once they move up this, so and this, we say that we don't call it a simple tract, we say it's a medial laminiscus that is formed, that is like a more of like, you say that there are bundles of axons of the white matter, in the white matter, and these they extend upwards. Then where they end, they go to your cerebral cortex. In your cortex there is a nucleus, there is a nucleus which is thalamus, and thalamus also has many nucleus, so they go to your VPL. What does VPL mean? VPL is ventro-posterior-lateral nucleus. So this is where second order neurons are ended and your third order neurons have started. So they terminate here in the third order, and then your third order neuron fibers have started. So they enter to the VPL, which is the nucleus. It is present in the thalamus, and then they go into your, after they move from the thalamus, they go into your internal capsule. Internal capsule is also a thing which is present right next to, lateral to your thalamus. And the internal capsule, interesting thing is this, that it has two limbs. One limb is the anterior limb, as you can see in the diagram, and the other one is the posterior limb. So these fibers, they go to the posterior limb, then they spread all the way to your cerebral cortex, and when these fibers which are spreading out, or the fibers that fan out, it has its own name, and we say that these are the corona radiata, and then they reach to your sensory part of the cerebral cortex. Okay, all right, so the first order neuron, they're present in the dorsal root ganglion. The second one is the nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. The third one are the VPL fibers. So that's it about the dorsal medial laminiscus system. Yeah, that's it, guys. So you may screenshot this diagram, and I hope that it helped you out. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.